take caution. This man is going to be taken into custody. Before it occurs, watch this video. Open right now. Keep exactly where you are and pay close attention, my dear youngster. There is something enormous in store for you. And I want you to understand how serious this is. A series of events will take place before daylight that will permanently alter your perception of someone. This message contains a secret that has been concealed from you up until this point. He has been strolling among you, grinning as if nothing were wrong. However, there is a blazing truth that is just waiting to be revealed behind those serene eyes. Authorities are already keeping an eye on things. Justice will soon come in the most subtle and surprising way possible as the walls close in. You'll see why heaven required you to hear this message first, so stay with it until the very end. There is something enormous in store for you. You can feel it even now. There was an odd air pressure. The sudden appearance of someone's name causes your heartbeat to change. It's not a coincidence. The truth is being revealed by divine timing. The man you previously trusted is going to have to deal with the world he created on his own. There's a reason the message reached you. Because only your eyes have witnessed what others have missed, heaven selected you to serve as a witness. You pick up on the patterns, the abrupt disappearances, the covert phone conversations, and the nervous giggles in his voice. The truth is now coming to light more quickly than anyone can block it. There is something enormous in store for you. His mask will start to come off tonight, not by force, but as a result. He is unaware that the evidence against him is now being held by the same individuals he deceived. Destiny itself is bringing all lies, fake smiles, and secret agreements to light. As you listen, your hands may shake, but that's not fear. It's verification. Heaven's method of telling you that you were correct all along. Those nights when you were unable to go asleep and your gut told you that something wasn't right. This is evidence. The time has come when the guilty cannot be protected by silence. There is something enormous in store for you. A door will open in the coming hours, and everyone will be shocked by what comes through it. Before it makes headlines, you'll hear a familiar name reverberate through murmurs. You'll keep this warning in mind when something occurs. He has been acting like the rescuer, the hero, and the person who wished to lend a hand. However, he was no longer able to avoid the shadow of the truth. He's going to discover that every covert deed has a deadline. And this is the date. There is something enormous in store for you. You're hearing this before anyone else for a purpose. It's not meant to scare you. It's to get your heart ready for the day when everyone can see what you've already sensed. You're not insane. You're not thinking too much. You had a supernatural awareness. His reckoning will soon begin with a sound, a knock, a call, or an abrupt notice. The universe has already written his confession, even though he may believe he can still argue his way out. When he understands that everything he accomplished in secret is now inscribed across the sky of his fate, his voice will shake. And you, my dear child, will see firsthand the justice of heaven. There is something enormous in store for you. You have been selected to comprehend the power of divine timing rather than to pass judgment. It's revelation, not retaliation. And you'll be released from the invisible burden you've been carrying as a result of this realization. Right now, all of your tears, sleepless nights, and unanswered prayers are being resolved. After years of dusk, the truth is emerging like dawn light. He is going to face not only legal but also moral challenges. No one can avoid the one judge. And when he speaks, his own decisions will be reflected in the voice of sorrow. There is something enormous in store for you. Justice doesn't always come with a bang, my little child. Sometimes it arrives in the form of a whisper that says enough or a hand on the shoulder. That whisper is this. Unexpected indications, repeating numbers, flashing lights, or a message that reaches you twice in a single day are all possible. Every sign indicates that the truth has begun to move. If someone contacts you out of the blue and says they had a dream about you or experienced something unusual, don't be shocked. That's how alignment, not chaos, is how divine justice operates. There is something enormous in store for you. He's starting to feel uneasy. His thoughts are disorganized and his energy is restless. Though he is unaware that the wind has already turned against him, he can sense the storm coming. Like paper castles in the rain, his plans are falling apart. Heaven has had enough. The holy log book contains a record of every action made against the innocent. And now is the moment to make corrections, not to destroy, but to re-establish equilibrium. You will witness firsthand how every falsehood is rearranged by truth. There is something enormous in store for you. The man who used to be able to stroll freely is going to realize the consequences of his actions. The truth itself, not prison walls, is what he will have to deal with. And that reality will shatter him before any punishment can. Don't feel sorry for him. Rather, remember that this was written a long time ago. No matter how far away a person is from their reflection, fate always finds them. You were supposed to witness this so that your heart may at last mend, my dear child. Disguised as a consequence, this is closure. There is something enormous in store for you. You'll experience an odd calmness before morning. It's a sign from heaven that the storm has completed its full circle. The anguish that seems unending will give way to comprehension. You'll see that none of this happened at random. All of your heartaches, betrayals, and delays led you to this point. Because the truth can only breathe anew through exposure. You were not defeated. You were safeguarded. Heaven just bided its time until the appropriate moment. There is something enormous in store for you. Now take a deep breath and remain motionless. Around you, a significant turning point is taking place. Allow it to occur. It is more than simply losing freedom for the person who will be arrested. He will never be able to dictate your tale again. When the truth is disclosed, it doesn't need to be defended, therefore you will rise gracefully and silently without having to prove anything. Remain thankful, stay grounded, and keep in mind that this is not the end of his story. It marks the start of your tranquility. There is something enormous in store for you. Don't move, my dear youngster. Not quite yet. Because everything you've sensed will finally make sense of what's about to happen next. There is something enormous in store for you. You are getting closer to the truth that was withheld from you for far too long with each second you spend here. This is the point at which things that are hidden begin to breathe. He's currently pacing a room, believing he can change what has already been written. He's making calls, erasing messages, and acting as though he still has authority, but the reality has already escaped his grasp. Although he may appear composed in public, terror has started to murmur his name behind closed doors. Now, each untruth weighs more and more, like a chain that tightens with each breath. There is something enormous in store for you. Someone is observing him from a distance, not to hurt him but to make sure. He believed that no one could ever solve the puzzle, yet they have been following the patterns and gathering the pieces. And the whole truth will collapse when the final piece comes together. Tonight, even the air seems different, doesn't it? That weird vibration that occurs just before fate turns the page is something you can feel. You're not imagining that. The energy of exposure is that. What has been obstructing your path for years is being cleared by the cosmos. There is something enormous in store for you. Look back at the signs you've been seeing lately. The hour of reckoning cannot be stopped. The man who used deceit to climb higher is about to face the drop he created for others. This time, there will be no escape because this is divine truth taking its stand, not human judgment. He's not sleeping tonight. His conscience has begun to echo louder than any silence can contain. The same intuition that kept warning you wasn't fear, it was foresight. Your spirit knew the storm was coming, even though your mind tried to remain calm. Numbers repeating, messages coming twice, dreams you couldn't explain, all of it was preparing you for this moment. You, my dear child, are standing in the midst of a divine unveiling. It's not just his story being revealed, it's your freedom being restored because as he falls, you rise. He's hearing his own actions replayed in his mind, frame by frame, like a movie, and he knows deep down that tomorrow morning will bring more than sunlight, it will bring truth. And heaven made sure you would see it, not to rejoice, but to be set free. Something enormous is waiting for you. His circle is beginning to disassociate itself in silence. The same people who used to applaud his every move are now murmuring doubts. The spotlight he longed for is becoming an interrogation lamp. And soon the truth will render him completely blind. He doesn't realize it yet, but his next phone call will be the one that exposes him. His voice will break when he realizes his own words have trapped him. Something huge is waiting for you. Remember, justice always walks quietly before it roars. This isn't about retaliation, it's about revelation. Right now, a message is being typed somewhere, one that will seal his fate. The evidence is already sitting in someone's inbox, ready to be sent. The balance is being restored, and heaven will ensure that no innocent soul is left bound to deceit. The truth will be released at that precise moment, and you won't need to do anything, just remain motionless and observe, because everything that was intended to harm you is now protecting you. You'll soon feel an invisible shift, almost like the air becoming lighter. The time for silence has ended, declares Archangel Michael, and something enormous is waiting for you. The truth is prepared to speak. Additionally, it won't whisper when it speaks. Lies cannot conceal where light chooses to enter, thus it will reverberate throughout every aspect of his life. He is recalling when he last saw you. The way your words and eyes didn't match. He hoped you wouldn't look further, but he knew you felt something. Every grin you offered him now feels like a mirror reflecting the reality he was trying to hide. And in front of everyone, that mirror is going to break. There is something enormous in store for you. There will be a signal before midnight. Perhaps a news alert, an unexpected call, or an odd hush that indicates it's happening. You'll be aware. The precise vibration of justice coming will be felt by you. He is not being punished by heaven. The imbalance is being corrected. He had numerous opportunities to turn around, but he opted for conceit above atonement. He must now confront the consequences of his choices. Not as a victim, but as the mastermind behind his demise. Your spirit will be able to breathe again as a result of this. There is something enormous in store for you. Remember, my little kid, that truth never stops in the middle. Healing comes from the same light that exposes. Your life won't be burdened by his secrets after tonight. This is the moment that will change your life. This is the point at which heaven draws the line and declares, no more. All deceit, manipulation, and false promises come to an end. And by daylight, the world will realize what you've always knew deep inside. There is something enormous in store for you. Don't leave just yet. The complete realization is just a few seconds away. Your timeline is becoming more in harmony with divine justice as the energy surrounding you changes. Remain motionless, take deep breaths, and have faith in what is happening. You'll see that this wasn't about his collapse when they come for him, which they will. It had to do with your ascent. Your path will become clearer, your heart will be at ease, and your spirit will feel lighter. At that point, you will realize that the cosmos never forgets who is worthy of restoration. My dear child, something enormous is in store for you. Pay close attention. Everything starts to take shape at this point. It's been bothering you for days. There's an unseen tension in the air. Something enormous is waiting for you, and you know it deep down in your chest. Now that the countdown has started, the clock of destiny is ticking more loudly than ever. The ground beneath him has already begun to fracture, but he is unaware of this. Tonight feels like a different night. The air is filled with an odd silence, the kind that precedes lightning strikes. Unaware that someone is tracking every action, message, and word, he is sitting by himself and gazing at his phone. He is surrounded by the energy of truth like an unseen fire. There is something enormous in store for you. The last telegram that will shatter his delusion is on its way to him. His moment has been sealed, his name written, and his story documented. He believed he could outwit fate, but fate has always had the upper hand. A light in a secret office across the city comes on. Screens illuminate, files open, and voices speak codes that will determine his destiny. It was never intended for you to fall prey to his scheme. You were selected to watch his demise. Heaven also ensured that you would be the first to know the truth. There is something enormous in store for you. Now that he's restless, he's pacing the floor, searching for words to make things better. He calls, but nobody answers. On the other hand, silence does not equate to ignorance. Ignoring his justifications, it's fate. An automobile is on its way already. Quiet precision, the kind that bears the weight of truth, without sirens or clamor. He doesn't realize that justice is getting closer to his door with each turn of that car. One more untruth is being exposed with each mile that goes by. There is something enormous in store for you. Your name was only supposed to be associated with his waking, not with his demise. No matter how many shadows he hurled at you, you were the light that he was unable to put out. Heaven is making sure you can view this from a safe distance because of this. According to Archangel Michael, the truth will not harm you. It will set your spirit free. You are being released into clarity by the same energy that previously held you in bewilderment. You've earned this moment of validation by perseverance rather than retaliation. All along, your patience served as a protection. There is something enormous in store for you. Feeling that something is off, he is now looking out his window. His hands shake a little, not from dread of punishment but from the recollection of all the times he believed no one was seeing. However, heaven was constantly keeping an eye on everything. Outside, the street becomes unusually silent. For the first time, he senses the presence of truth in front of his own house as he stares out. He turns to face the mirror and is unable to identify the man staring back at him because the reflection is now genuine and devoid of all fakery. There is something enormous in store for you. At that moment, you'll experience an odd warmth over your heart. That is your affirmation. That's heaven's way of saying that the cycle is finally over. The energy that used to deplete you has now found its source again. The knock is unavoidable, slow, and purposeful. He becomes motionless. His breath catches. His heart is pounding. He scans the room as though trying to find a way out. However, the truth itself is now the only way out. Furthermore, the truth closes doors rather than opens them. There is something enormous in store for you. Outside, the voices are composed, disciplined, and unwavering. The air has already become thicker despite his attempts to delay and stall. For this one holy moment of reckoning, time itself seems to stop. His reality starts to blur as soon as they enter. One of the papers on his table falls right next to his foot. It's a picture. You are the one. He recognizes that everything he did was never concealed as soon as he sees it. There is something enormous in store for you.